विराट सभा पटल पर प्रस्तुत कर सकते हैं।
मुझे अपना एक पक्ष में बात रखना है। कई दिनों से ये हाउस डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं, इसलिए मैं एक बात स्पष्ट रूप से रखना चाहता हूँ। द गवर्नमेंट हैज़ बीन वेरी ओपन to take up for discussion on any matter. From time to time, the government has been telling that we are ready to hold debate and discussion on any and every topic. However, any discussion in the parliament has to be in accordance with constitutional provisions and also in accordance with the rules as prescribed in the rules of procedure and conduct of business in Lok Sabha. On the issue of intensive revision of the electoral roll, on the issue of SIR, which they are disturbing the House from the day one, we all know that the matter is under consideration of the Honorable Supreme Court, and as such, it is a sub judice. Under Rule 186, Part 8, any matter can be discussed in the House only if it does not relate to a matter which is under adjudication by a court of law in the country. Besides, a member of this House, as per Rule 352, Clause 1, is not allowed to make or refer to any matter of the fact on which a judicial decision is pending. The matter which the opposition party is trying to raise is clearly a sub judice, and so a discussion on this issue cannot be held in this House. Chairperson, Madam, I would like to also mention and submit that the issue relates to the functions and responsibilities entrusted to the Election Commission of India, which is an autonomous body. In the past, it has been clearly established in this House itself that matters falling under the domain of the Election Commission of India cannot be discussed in this House. On 14 December 1988, when a member tried to raise issue pertaining to the functioning of the Election Commission of India, the then Lok Sabha Speaker, Sri Balram Jakarji, had ruled in the following words, I quote, Mr. to the member, you know that I cannot comment upon the actions and decisions of the Election Commission, which is an autonomous body, nor can they do it. You have to change the Constitution. I cannot break the rules, unquote. He further stated that under the existing constitutional provisions, the House cannot comment upon the actions of the Election Commission. Chairperson, Madam, moreover, Rule 352 Subclause 5 of Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in Lok Sabha clearly says that it is not permitted to reflect upon the conduct of persons in high authority in general discussions. Therefore, Chairperson, Madam, the rules are very clear. The House cannot have a discussion on the working of an autonomous body like the Election Commission. I would like to ask the opposition members, do you want to break the rules established by this House? Do you want to throw out the provisions of the Constitution of India? Do you follow the rules of this country? From the day one, you are attempting to break the rules and the conventions established in this august House. Madam, I would like to urge the honorable members of the opposition parties, please allow the function of the House. Let us discuss and debate. Don't disturb the business of this House. We are sent to this House for discussion and debate for issues related to all important important issues of our country must be discussed. Please let the House function. Don't try to break the rules and convention of this August House. Don't try to dismiss all the decisions taken by the past August House. The chairman of then, the speaker of the past, we have to honor them. So once again, I would like to request the members of the opposition party not to disrupt the functioning of the House. We have important bills to take up today on the special appeal of the opposition party. We are not pushing the sports bill. Madam, we are not pressing with the discussion and passing of the sports bill, although it is listed in the business. But we will take it up later. Let the bill related to the Ministry of Shipping and Ports be taken up, which is listed today, and let the House function. I would like to request the honorable members of the opposition party, please don't disrupt the business of the House.
माननीय मंत्री सर्बानंद सोनोवाल जी, आप कुछ कहना? माननीय मंत्री सर्बानंद सोनोवाल जी, आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं?
Madam, I am bringing a very important bill and for the maritime sector of India. So I believe, if you allow me, so can I proceed, madam? Yes, sir.
सभा की सहमति हो तो बिल.
Madam, I rise to move that the Merchant Shipping Bill 2024 to consolidate and amend the law relating to merchant shipping to ensure compliance with India's obligation under the maritime treaties and international instrument to which India is a party, and also to ensure the development of Indian shipping and efficient maintenance of Indian mercantile marine in a manner best suited to serve the national interests and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto be taken into consideration.
माननीय सदस्य श्री विजय बंसल जी. माननीय
Be taken into consideration.
माननीय सदस्य श्री विजय बंसल जी. माननीय सदस्य श्री विजय बंसल जी. माननीय सदस्य श्री ब्रजेश चोटा जी.
Thank you, Speaker, Madam. I rise to express my strong support for the Merchant Shipping Bill 2024. Madam, it's a landmark reform which is taken up by our government led by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, which is going to modernize the maritime sector and propel us towards becoming a global shipping hub, Madam. And it's so unfortunate that the opposition party is not willing to debate such an important bill which is going to transform the shipping sector and going to create a lot of jobs in this sector. Ma'am, I represent the constituency Mangalore, a city that stands as one of the India's prominent maritime gateways, madam. I am grateful for the opportunity given to speak on this bill, whose provisions and impact are deeply intertwined with my constituency and the larger growth of the region, madam. Madam, I would like to say, with every drop of water you drink, every breath you take, you are connected to the sea, madam. For centuries, the seas have been the arteries of trade and civilization. The bill is a visionary step in this direction by our leader, Shri Narendra Modi ji, which will ensure a safe, efficient and sustainable maritime operations for a rising India. Madam, under the leadership of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji and our Minister Shri Sarbanand Sonowal, the bill brings several key transformative measures, madam. Firstly, it brings in a modernized legal framework. Madam, it replaces a 6-decade-old law with a forward-looking statute that aligns with global maritime standards and international conventions, madam. It encourages foreign investment. Madam, the new bill proposes significant reforms. significant reforms to
माननीय
attract
सदस्य
foreign
श्री
investment.
भीमू प्रसाद तराई
It
जी।
also reduces the ownership threshold from
माननीय सदस्य भीमू प्रसाद तराई जी। माननीय सदस्य मुकेश दलाल जी।
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Madam. Amid all these destructive, negative thoughts and behavior in the Parliament, I have risen to support the Merchant Shipping Bill 2025. After independence, India has a long history as a suffering nation, with a rich maritime tradition predating European power. Indian ships once sailed widely, engaging in prosperous trade across Asia and the Middle East. However, under British rule, the growth of India's indigenous shipping industry was stifled by laws favoring British shipping, which eventually led to a decline of Indian ships in the high seas. In the 19th century, the Indian shipping law was weak and unclear. After independence, the Merchant Shipping Act 1950 was passed. But since merchant shipping sector has undergone various changes over the years, as a result, the Merchant Shipping Act 1950 has become bulky and outdated piece of legislation. The Act eventually consists of more than 500 sections under the maritime division.
माननीय मंत्री श्री सोनोवाल जी।
Madam, I am thankful to Captain Vijay Savlaji and also Dulalji, MP Dulalji, and for their kind extension of support to this bill. I rise today to move particularly this merchant shipping bill. It is a very, very advanced, progressive and modern legislation up to date with the International Maritime Convention and consisting of all relevant incorporation from global best practices of leading maritime nation. In continuation of the series of legal reforms undertaken in the past 11 years by our ministry under the dynamic leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, which have led to increased growth and development for the maritime and shipping sector. And we are endeavoring to undertake reforms of other major laws governing the sector. It is also a matter of great pride that under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, India has emerged as one of the largest supplier of seafarers. The Merchant Shipping Act 1958 presently governs merchant shipping in India and implements certain international maritime organization convention. However, the present act is outdated since it does not provide for some of the critical obligations under the international convention that have been adopted by India. The act is a bulky and fragmented legislation containing 561 sections as a result of various amendments carried out from time to time. The act is no longer adequate to realize our developmental vision and address the contemporary challenges of the maritime sector. Additionally, the 1958 Act prioritizes regulation over enablement and, as a result, does not adequately represent the bankability of India as a maritime trade hub. Aligning the domestic law with international best practices and IMO convention leads to predictability in these transactions. Such alignment in turn enhances a country's bankability as a maritime jurisdiction. Therefore, enablement of increasing India's bankability in maritime sector is core focus of the bill. Thank you, madam.
प्रश्न यह है कि विधेयक पर विचार किया जाए। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में है वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य विरोध में है वो ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ। विधेयक पर विचार करने हेतु प्रस्ताव को स्वीकृत किया गया। अब सभा विधेयक पर खंडवार विचार करेगी। प्रश्न यह है कि खंड 2 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में है वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य इसके विरोध में वो ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ। खंड 2 विधेयक का अंग बना। माननीय सदस्य श्री सोगत राय जी। प्रश्न यह है कि खंड 3 विधेयक का अंग बने। जो सदस्य इसके पक्ष में वो हाँ कहें, जो सदस्य इसके विरोध में वो ना कहें। मेरे विचार में निर्णय हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ, हाँ वालों के पक्ष में हुआ। खंड 3 विधेयक का अंग बना। माननीय सदस्य श्री एन के प्रेमचंदन जी, माननीय सदस्य श्री डी एम कातिर आनंद जी, माननीय सदस्य श्री अभय कुमार सिन्हा जी, माननीय सदस्य श्री अभय कुमार सिन्हा जी, माननीय सदस्य
foreign
श्री
investment.
प्रसाद तराई
It
जी,
also reduces the ownership threshold from
माननीय सदस्य भीमू प्रसाद तराई जी, माननीय सदस्य मुकेश दलाल जी,
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, Madam. Amid all these destructive, negative thoughts and behavior in the Parliament, I have risen to support the Merchant Shipping Bill 2025. After independence, India has a long history as a suffering nation, with a rich maritime tradition predating European power. Indian ships once sailed widely, engaging in prosperous trade across Asia and the Middle East. However, under British rule, the growth of India's indigenous shipping industry was stifled by laws favoring British shipping, which eventually led to decline of Indian ships in the high seas. In the 19th century, the Indian shipping law was weak and unclear. After independence, the Merchant Shipping Act 1950 was passed. But since merchant shipping sector has undergone various changes over the years, as a result, the Merchant Shipping Act 1950 Act has become bulky and outdated piece of legislation. The Act eventually consists of more than 500 sections under the maritime division.